This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus and 17 Days of Star Wars. So, just got finished watching episode 4, and I'm kind of angry. And it really has nothing to do with episode 4 itself. I'm kind of angry at George Lucas, and I feel like I'm going to get angrier as I progress within this trilogy, the original trilogy. See, here's the thing, and I mentioned it when I was talking about the prequels. He messed up the continuity of the story and the universe if you're someone who pays close enough attention to it. Now, I'm going to definitely put that out there. I'm that person, especially now that I'm an adult, that pays attention to things like that. So, I may be the, just the minority in this. But he kind of breaks the original trilogy with the stuff that he established with the prequel. Things like, as I mentioned before, the conversation between Luke's uncle and him about his father. How his uncle, told him how his father knew Obi-Wan Kenobi. They were friends, but Obi-Wan Kenobi was just like a hermit. And that his father wasn't a Jedi or anything like that. His father was it sounded like the equivalent of a space truck driver. Like he was just a pilot for cargo pilot or something like that. I forget exactly what he said, but he really downplayed it, and he really talked about Anakin like he knew him very, very well. He didn't know Anakin that well, unless Anakin paid visits. And if Anakin paid visits to get to know him better, then where was this established? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. They've never really established any type of relationship in the prequels. Was during the Clone Wars, in between missions, was that where him and Padme vacated? They took their vacations at his mom's, husband. A guy he never knew, never grew up around. Is he spending time with the stepfather, feeling like he needed to get to know his stepfamily more? During the war, I don't really see. And if he did, It just really bothered me. That bothered me. The explanation of the Force bothered me. He had Obi-Wan explain the Force to Luke in A New Hope, but you go back to how Qui-Gon, told Anakin about metachlorians. No. Obi-Wan had already established that this is an energy that's, all through, it flows through everything. Where did this, build up of bacteria or whatever come from all of a sudden? So, which is right? Is it, Obi-Wan's explanation? Or is Qui-Gon? Was Obi-Wan just being very, very simplistic in it and deciding, I don't want to go into too many details because I don't know if Luke could handle this? It just really, really, really bothers me. It just oh my God, he messed up some of what he established, and the reason I guess it bothers me more than anything is because I'm the type of person who feels like the best way to continue a series is to make sure that it flows within each other. You know what I mean? Again, continuity. It has to make sense as to why the A went to B, went to C, and so on. And he kind of put it in a place, at least for me, where after C, Revenge of the Sith, D was starting to look kind of shaky. Now E's going to look shaky, and F's going to look shaky. you know, and you know, G through I are gonna probably have some issues if you still keep the prequels in your mind, because it just really I don't know. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't even be going on this point, because we're gonna go over the movie. That's the thing, is that we're supposed to be talking about the movie itself and how the movie was, and I've let the prequels take control. So man, it's okay. So New Hope was a very solid movie. Let's be that's the pretty much short of it. It did well in establishing the characters and establishing the universe, what's going on. It's funny because I can't find my original copy, so I had to watch a copy that had some of the extra scenes that he added in, which is total bullshit, by the way. By no means did they need those things in those movies. This was his, like, you know, walk down the path of relying too much on technology, which I think kind of ruined the essence of the prequels as well, because, and it kind of like throws off these movies as well, because some of that stuff in A New Hope, you could just tell it didn't really fit, because it just looked out of place. It looked too new compared to the older stuff. You know, he couldn't, like, you know, raise the quality of the visuals in the older stuff enough to match the newer stuff to me. So yeah, it's so, a lot of it seemed out of place, but you know, still it was a very good movie. Like I said, they established characters well, they established the universe, but one thing I'm trying to figure out, if you guys remember, in the original trilogy, did they actually say episode 4? I'm thinking he did have episode 4 in the scroll at the beginning of the movie in A New Hope, and therefore he kind of foreshadowed going back always. I mean, I know he always said he wanted to go back when technology got to the point where he felt comfortable in doing new Star Wars movies. So I'm assuming this was always the plan for him anyway. Honestly, I think if he would have just went ahead and just did them without waiting, it would have turned out a lot better. Because again, I feel like his relying on technology being better kind of made things just a little, it took away some of the magic. A lot of the magic of A New Hope, you know, remembering from a kid, is, you know, yeah, you could tell some of the stuff is out of, you know, it's not real. You know, you could see the green screenish type of stuff in it, but it still had a more realistic feel because these were real models and things like that flying around. So he kind of took that away with the prequels, at least for me. Probably for older fans, if you're young coming into it, you probably didn't really pay attention. You might be the reverse way. You're probably thinking, well, this older stuff, like, it doesn't look as fancy as the newer stuff. So, you know, there is that. But and of course, it wasn't like a perfect film. Again, he's not the greatest of dialogue writers in the world, George Lucas. And if you really wanted to be nitpicky, you could nitpick things, like with all movies, make sense of why people did certain things and all of that. But it wasn't like something where you just couldn't watch. It didn't make it unwatchable. It flowed very well. It worked. It was a solid movie. It was a good setup for the rest of the franchise. So yeah, definitely still have a lot of love for A New Hope. Hopefully I'll keep that love for the rest of the series, but at the same time, I'm going to have a little bit of anger coming out, or a lot, like I did in this video. Sorry for stumbling all over the first half, but it just really bothered me. The stuff, just the breaking of continuity just really bothered me. But anyway, you guys hit me up, let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Peace.